welcome back to the Share Your Thoughts show. Of course, it's the Lagoon Radio, your number one online gospel radio station, powered by the Diocese of Lagos Anglican Communion. I'm your host, DJ Shab, and of course, today we're looking at an interesting topic, which we would be looking at here in the studio today. Of course, you can like and follow us on Facebook at Lagoon Radio Nigeria, on Instagram at Lagoonradio.Ng. You can also listen via our website on www.LagoonRadio.Ng for more info and entertainment. Our app is very, very much available on Google Play Store and App Store, irrespective of the device that you use. Don't forget to like us. Of course, stay tuned to the show because it promises to be exciting. Of course, you can contribute in the course of the show on 08189 Lagoon 08189 524 346 08189 524 346. Before I get right into it, we're going to go on this very quick short because I love this music play and I want you to have a feel of it as well. Do not go nowhere. Stay connected.
Oh, I always salute you. Even if I get 10,000 tongues, it won't be enough for what you've done for me. You changed my level, you gave me new sound, new glory. You giving me everything. On my bed, you sugar my tea. You made the way where there was no will. No one like you, Baba. No, 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 no. There is no one. Hey, Afunginaya. Jesus, Afunginaya. Afunginaya. Daddy Mo, Afunginaya. Salute you. I always salute you. Ibuchineke always salute you. I always salute you. Dogo I always salute you. I always salute you. Almighty Father always salute you. Ibuchineke I always salute you. Come and join me, sing hallelujah, oh. Hallelujah, oh. Sing hallelujah, oh. Ibuda put hallelujah, put. I got my power, hallelujah, power, oh. His mercies endure forever, Lord. His goodness endure forever, Lord. Jesus, you lift all up my head. See the way you can do. Salute you. I always salute you. Ibuchineke always salute you. I always salute you. Odogo I always salute you. I always salute you. Almighty Father always salute you. Ibuchineke I always salute you.
This is Lagoon Radio.
Alright, welcome back. That was Salute. Actually, salute given this afternoon. Of course, still your number one online gospel radio station, Lagoon Radio. And of course, we're about to get started. Of course, the topic for today and the question for today, we're looking at sex education. And my question is, should sexual education be taught in schools? Whether yes, whether no, you can be a part of the conversation on 08189 524 0818 524 366. You can call in, you can drop your message on WhatsApp, you can share your thought with me, and of course, I'm not alone in the studio. I have my producer right beside me. Favor Onsachi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Okay, you're welcome. And I have Koinsola Alawo with me here in the studio as well.
Hello,
Koinsola
good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you today? I know you're fine.
Are
Are you fine now?
I'm fine now.
Okay. Timilei, thank you for being a part of the show.
Good afternoon. Thank you for
I want to
having
believe
me
you're
here.
good at too.
Yeah,
You're good at. All right, like I said, we're looking at sex education, and it happens to be one-heated conversation with conflicting opinions. Well, is it being taught in school? Whether yes or no, you can be a part of the conversation, like I said. And of course, parents have different views on sexual education. Some believe that sexual education should not be taught in school, while others believe that only certain aspects of sex education should be taught. And that's what we'll be discussing here today, whether or not it should be taught and should anything be left out in the course of the teaching. Some think it should be part of the school curriculum. If it should be taught, when is the appropriate age for it to be taught? All those things we'll be looking at today. However, what should be the ideal in a world where there are different opinions about sex and sexuality? Should the topic of sex be taught in Nigerian schools? All these things, I'm sure you're taking notes. Koinsola, Favor, and of course, Tim Lane will be trashing out today.
Yes, I am.
So, should sex education be taught in schools, Nigerian school, basically? And at what stage, what age is appropriate for it to be taught? Yes, you can drop your comment on Facebook at Lagoon Radio Nigeria, on Instagram at Lagoonradio.Ng, and of course, you can listen via our website on www.lagoonradio.ng. We're going to take a quick glance at sexual education. Like, what does it really mean? What's your idea of sex education? Well, sex education is the instruction of issues relating to human sexuality, including emotional relations and responsibilities, human sexual anatomy, sexual activity, sexual reproduction, age of consent, reproductive health, reproductive rights, safe sex, birth control, sex abstinence, and of course, sex education that covers all of these aspects is known as comprehensive sex education. Sex education may also be provided by parents or caregivers. It's not only teachers, it's not limited to a particular person or as part of school programs and public health campaigns. Okay, so we'll get right into it. Should it be taught in school or not? Sexual education actually aims to develop and strengthen the ability of children and, of course, the younger people to make conscious, satisfying, healthy, and respectful choices regarding relationships, sexuality, and, of course, emotional and physical health. Sexuality education does not encourage children and young people to have sex. Whether yes, whether no. Who comes first? Koinsola. Sex education, do you think it should be taught in schools? Or what's your idea of sex education?
Well, sex education is something that should be allowed everywhere, but not only schools, start from the home, churches, public places. Every child should be aware that he or she has the right to issue as sex and sexual organs. So this should be something that should be taught in school, if possible, even a subject on its own. I think it's inculcated into subjects like social studies, civic education, and sciences and biology. So I feel like when schools begin to teach reproductive system, especially in science, it becomes a subject of laughter and the main focus is drifted from it. So I suggest that families themselves should be the first point of contact to teaching sexual education, because there's no age restriction or age barrier to any child knowing that he or she should be sexually aware of his environment and of his body. So it should start from the family, and there's no age limit.
Okay, so you're saying my question should be: at what age do you think it should be taught?
From the age of 3.
3.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm coming back to that. Timmy what's your knowledge of sex education? And do you think it should be taught in schools?
Of course. But like Coin said, I think it should start from home. It should start rather from home. That would be better than the child hearing it first from school.
Exactly.
Yeah, from home would be better. So I think the age 3 is fine, but it just depends on how you are going to say to a 3 years old child to older age, something like that.
Okay, so the 3-year-old child, teaching a child sex education from the age of 3.
Mm-hmm.
I know this thing that, when especially a girl child, when she's growing up, the mother tells, like you said, you start from home. The mother tells her, if anybody touches you here,
Yes.
Exactly.
you scream or you
Yeah.
tell me. And I think that's where it starts from.
Of course.
It's not about you creating fear, but you let them know that this thing is not safe. And of course, we have different topics that are being taught under sex education. You've got quite a number of them. And I'm going to take, we have how would I put it? Is it extensive or comprehensive sexuality education? Yeah, of course, it's being taught in school. Like I said, it's been added to some subjects, but should it be a subject on its own? Because it's very, very comprehensive. Like I said, it's very, very. It's a deep. Yeah, it's very deep. It's a deep topic and it's a deep subject. I feel on its own. Favor has something to say to this.
Okay, should sexual education be a topic on its own? I feel
a
subject. Yes, I do. Because the only times that we have the opportunity to hear about sexual related stuff in school is, like Coin said, either in social studies or in science subject, and they don't really go deep. They only pick a particular niche of that subject and talk about it, like maybe pregnancy or how to abstain from things like that. But I feel like if it is a subject on its own, there will be a teacher that is solely dedicated
that will be able to give the insights of what
that will tell you the A to Z of what sex really is. And I believe if it is a top or a subject on its own, it's going to give the students more insight and they will understand more about their bodies and how their sexual life should be.
Thank you very much. It's like every one of you is in support of this. But of course, topics that I feel should be taught under sex education. We have sexual intercourse. That that one it's part of the sciences topic that we have been taught in school. Reproduction, puberty, dating and romance, child planning, birth control, sexual orientation, sexually transmitted infections, gender identity, abstinence, how to use condom, sexuality throughout life, gender roles, diversity, sexuality in the media, and of course we've got quite a number of things. Like you said, if you have someone assigned to this subject or topic on its own, then the person will be able to give insight, and it's going to be in stages. Because a 3-year-old girl, I don't know what you want to teach her. Like I said, you can just start by simply telling her, if anyone touches you at a particular part of your body, then what are you expected to do? You scream. When you get home, you tell your mom. These are the things. But do you think we still need more topics under these ones I've outlined?
Well, aside more topics, I feel like if it's created as a subject itself for children, because definitely you can't teach a child of 3 years old sex education. It can be a topic in its field. So we can narrow it to sex education being part of the curriculum in secondary schools rather than being surfaced into subjects like biology and science. So we can have it for the younger children as little training from the home, from Sunday school. That's as little as, don't sit on a man's lap. If anybody touch your bum, you tell your mommy, you tell your sister, you tell anyone close around you. Don't jump on any uncle. Don't let any uncle carry you on his leg. Don't let any uncle carry you. Don't jump at any. It all starts gradually. So right from all this stage, a child is mentally aware of these things before he finally hears it in the society, in the school, among opposite sex. That's why we find most children, when they say things like this, reproductive system, they are being shy, or
they shy away from me,
or they even talk
talk about it. Right. Yes,
exactly. So such people might be hearing it for the first time with the opposite sex in front of them, so they find it difficult to relate on or how they should behave. It's like a lady who sees her period in the broad daylight, and everybody is telling, oh, you are stained, you are stained. So that is how children treat their children's sexuality with the opposite sex when they are around, even as a subject. So I feel like it should start from it should be a subject for teenagers in secondary schools, and for children in their minor ages, it should be from the home and from Sunday schools.
Okay, thank you very much. We're gonna go on a quick break, and when we get back, we'll look at the programs I feel should be taken or should be taught in school under sex education. Don't go anywhere. This is still Lagoon Radio. welcome back. That's Praise Jams by Ben Sachs, and of course, it's 3:30 p.m. here from our studio. It's still Lagoon Radio, your number one online gospel radio station, powered by the Diocese of Lagos, Anglican Communion. And I'm your host today, DJ Shab, on the Share Your Thoughts show. Don't forget to like and follow us on Facebook at Lagoonradio.Ng, on Instagram at Lagoonradio.Ng, and of course, you can listen via our website on www.Lagoonradio.Ng. Well, we're still on the topic of sex education, and my question is: should it be taught in school? Should it be taught in schools, Nigerian schools in particular? And at what stage do you think it should be taught? Okay, so before we went on that break, we've been doing some talking, and I said I'm going to say a few sex education programs that I feel should be taught in schools, like the main. And there are two basic types of sex education classes that I feel is being taught. Depends on what your state or local school district mandates. I mean, our country in particular. Well, your teen will either be learning the comprehensive sexuality education or abstinence only until marriage program. So there are two different ones to be looking at today. And these two programs, they represent two completely different school of thoughts, and you must know what your child is learning so you can be sure of what the information is complete, or whether it's complete, whether it's accurate, and it reflects in your family values. Of course, we're looking at the comprehensive sexuality education, which happens to be the first one. It's a program that starts in early childhood and continues through high school, and it teaches that sexuality is a natural, normal part of elder living and brings up age-appropriate sexuality topics. And of course, comprehensive sexuality education covers the broad spectrum of sex education, including safe sex. They teach you safe sex, sexually transmitted infections, contraceptives, masturbation, body image, sexual expression, relationships, and of course, culture. It includes accurate medical information on sexually transmitted infections and HIV. And although abstinence is addressed, it also emphasizes strategies to reduce the risk of unintended pregnancy and sexually transmitted infections. And the other program is abstinence only until marriage program. You know, that one, it emphasizes abstinence from all sexual behaviors, and it teaches that sexual expression outside of marriage could have harmful psychological, social, and physical consequences. And under this one, we have programs do not cover information on. This program does not cover information on contraceptives, sexually transmitted infections, masturbation, abortion, of course, because you're about to and you're older, you can make decisions on your own. Abstinence only until married programs may address using condoms, but they emphasize the failure rates of using them. Okay, so these are the two programs that I feel should be taught. And of course, there's another one that we're going to talk about one. We're going to touch it briefly. Counselor. Okay, so all this I've said now, do you have anything to add to it? There's comprehensive sexuality education, from a particular age to a particular age, what is being taught under that program, and abstinence only until marriage. When you're about to marry, when you're about to get married, or you're in a marriage already.
I feel like there's a phase between when we say people are in a young people are in a relationship, and when we say they are married already, their sexuality even in marriage, and when they are about to that period of adolescence, youthful age and youthful exuberance will surely come in. But it still boils down. No school, no university will teach you sexual education, or we add it to part of its course outline or curriculum. But then it is now left to the individual to either abstain based on what they've been hearing from childhood, or to do as peer pressure flows, because in as much as we have so many people that would have heard this right from their childhood repeatedly, they repeat it even in their homes, when they're about going to school, the process of you getting admission. But as a child, when pressure comes, you do what what is in your mind, you will do it. It's just like a parent telling you, oh, don't go to club. Or when you the popular saying that our parents do say when you're about to get admission, when you're going to school for another session, they'll say rust your manitone gel, blah 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 blah. But deep inside you, what you want to do, you're gonna do it when you get to school.
Lads, if you meet with the right set of people, you won't do it. But if you meet with the wrong,
exactly, your conscience will all tell you all of these things. So depending on pressure, they might have friends, they might have people that even tell them. There was a time in about, I think, last 2 years, where people were saying being a virgin or sexual abstinence is old school, or being a virgin is old school, and all of that. So this set of people are capable of brainwashing those that have been brought up in the right ordeals and norms. So it's better that you guide your thoughts, you guide your actions, you guide your mindset. You don't let the wrong people influence your thought and opinion. And in as much as this generation is not shying away from sexuality, it's speaking out in all forms. Even if you don't have a mobile phone, you can hear it from one person or the other that, oh, your sexuality is key, sexual education is important, STD is real, infections are real. So I believe with all of these things, it needs not be in any curriculum, and there's strong need for abstinence. If a young person doesn't want to have STD and there's fear of AIDS, so why should you flirt? Why shouldn't you keep your sexual life active and sane to avoid future embarrassment and all of that?
Thank you very much, Koinsola. Over to Timile. I just want to ask you, what do you think are the benefits of sexual education?
It actually have a lot of benefit.
Okay.
Like, it's like opening your child, like training him what he or she should know or not. So nobody will try and harass him or her outside. And I think the issue of rape or something will actually reduce. Like the ignorance of you not knowing what is going on. Imagine all these pedophile people and her. So if you actually talk to your child and teach him or her that if anybody touch you here, scream or call my name, something like that, tell me. If you have that relationship with your child, if any pedophile come close to your child or something, and he or she just touch your child where it's supposed not to, the child will walk up to you and tell, mommy, you said I should tell you if someone touched me here. Okay, so person touch me here. You understand? So you won't allow your child to go close to that person again, or you can even arrest him as far as you have your child statement to back it up. So I think teaching your child is actually a very good thing, and it have a lot of weight.
Thank you very much, Timile. Favor has something to say. Do you think sexual education has any benefits?
Of course, when something educates, it informs you, it gives you power. And it gives you knowledge rather, and then how they say that knowledge gives you power. So I believe once a child knows the nitty-gritty of what sexual education is, there is no child that you'll be able to deceive if the child knows exactly what you're doing. A child that is being harassed will know that this is harassment. This is not love. This is not uncle's love. You are touching me in wrong places. So only a child who knows will be able to react the right way, because some children don't know.
Yes.
They'll tell you, come and sit on my lap, and they will feel what they should not feel, but they cannot talk because they do not know. They don't know
exactly
what it is. So I believe, yes, it informs, it educates, it gives them the power to say no to certain things that are not right.
Thank you very much. Of course, we have myth and we have facts about sexuality education. And good quality sexuality education does not lead to young people having sex earlier than is expected based on the national average. And this has shown in the research studies in Europe, including Finland and so many countries. Good quality sexual education, of course, can, however, lead to later sexual debut and responsible sexual behavior. Do you agree with me on that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, sexuality education does not deprive children of their innocence. Giving children information on sexuality that is scientifically accurate, not judgmental, age appropriate, and of course, complete, and as part of carefully phase process from the beginning of formal schooling, including kindergarten and preschool?
I think we should talk about this particular paragraph.
Okay.
That does not deprive children. It doesn't deprive kids of their innocence.
Yes.
I think the Nigerian society, we have this mentality that when we start to talk about things like this, the children will spoil in their own term.
Yes.
So you find that it's very hard to see a Nigerian mother tell her child, this is what this thing is. I'm not in support of you telling your child anything in your body is bum bum. Your vagina is not bum bum. They touch you in your vagina. Say it, vagina. Wherever it is. Don't sugarcoat any single thing. And one thing again I want to say that the Nigerian society does is that instead of educating, we inflict fear.
Great.
That's what they do.
You said
They'll
that before.
What they do is scare you. Don't let a guy touch you because you get pregnant.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That was
that's
the
the
first
thing.
statement.
That's where that scientifically accurate thing comes in play. It is wrong. When a brother touches you, how will you get? Mommy, if I was a child, I would ask how. Explain. Tell them this is what
if
it
a guy
is.
touches me, I can't get pregnant.
And you know something about kids, when they raise them, or people of that generation that they raised with that word, they not raise me with if they if they touch you. But then the funny thing is when they touch you, you don't open up to your parents that a guy has touched me.
Already.
Am I pregnant? That was not the next thing. The guy would have gone further before you begin to ask questions. That am I still safe?
Exactly.
And that's why according to that's why you have to let them know. It's not only when a man touches you. Once you have sex, once a man gets down to your vagina and do these things to you, then you get pregnant. That is inculcating that. Let them know.
Yeah,
No,
even
because
lots
sometimes
of
when you
dangerous
generalize
things now
and say
aside
touch.
being pregnant.
Yes,
Being pregnant is like the peak.
So they tell you, what about
a little
STDs?
child? Aside even a little child that is being abused. You're not raped, but you are being abused.
Yes.
Like when they are touching you illicitly,
inappropriate touching,
exactly.
Yes.
When you are being abused, that kind of thing can leave a mental trauma and become an addiction for that child. Let's even leave all of this rape and
Getting pregnant.
getting
Yeah.
pregnant
Psychological
aside.
part.
Psychologically, that can be an habit for the child.
Yes.
Because we've had 95% of those who masturbate today is as a result of
For the experience.
what they've experienced. It's not like they just ready for more people to start doing it. It's what one uncle or one auntie has done to them before.
And their parents are not even there.
Not there to correct them or say, this
No,
thing.
that if before I can correct you, then you must have opened up.
Open,
to me.
exactly.
That
They don't even know what's
you
going
don't
down.
give your child that time. You don't talk to your child. How is he
or
or
she.
she meant to come to you
For
tell
advice.
you what has happened to?
See, I
him or
believe
her.
Nigerian parents, I'm talking to everybody out there, be open to your children sexually.
Exactly.
I'm not even going to lie. I'll use myself as an example. My mom never said anything to me about sex.
I think
Even till now.
actually plenty there.
Never. I don't know why we take it as one sacrificial
Like you
thing.
said, in Nigeria.
in Nigeria,
That should not be
we
spoken
share-
of.
it's
I have
normal.
a
I
friend.
feel like
I have
even
a
if
friend.
you talk about, if you
We
mention
share away from
sex, they will
exactly.
shout, "Shut up! What did you know about that?" Blah blah blah.
I
That's-
have a
that's the
friend,
next
she's
reaction.
25, and
Just
she was
like-
like, we're just talking regularly one day, and she was like, I'm even lucky, my mom knows my own boyfriend, that our
Our
mom,
annoying boyfriend.
no, our mom does not even give room for it. She dare not bring someone to the house. Our mom has never asked her, is any guy, and I'm like, at age
And people like that
25.
go out and misbehave. And if
Exactly.
anything goes wrong,
Whenever they see any opportunity like this, they will just.
they feel it's the best, so they
I was
just go
shocked
about the
too,
step.
at age 25.
Okay, of course, another thing is sexuality education. Okay, and an open attitude towards sexuality does not make it easier for pedophiles to abuse children, just like you said earlier. And this is the opposite case. When children learn about equality and respect in relationships, they are in better position to recognize abusive persons and someone that respects
Their body.
their body,
Yeah.
especially as a girl. Of course, they do it to boys too. They do it to
Yeah.
both genders.
genders.
Gender, yeah.
But in the absence of this, children and young people can look for and receive conflicting and sometimes damaging messages from their peers. Just as when you get to school, and you're someone that get easily intimidated. Once they tells you things, in fact they brainwash you and you just fall for it. And the media or other sources, if you're used to, that's why I said
think
whatever
media is
it's
actually
not
the
every
worst
it's not
right
everything
now.
you see on social media
taking.
you take.
Well, if the child did not have a knowledge about it, so it's going to take in what he can see, what he sees, he or she.
There are these two
Whatever
kids.
yeah.
One is 7 and one is 5. They have a live Facebook page. I think it was Hannah Sharp that we were watching it one day, and they were critically analyzing births. The process when you give birth to a child. Like, imagine a kid of 7 and 5 years old analyzing births, like placenta. They were really and their mom was shocked that what are you guys saying on social media? She collected the phone and none of that. But these children critically, and because these are things that they obviously did not learn from their mom. Their mom did not tell them. It is from outside.
Yes.
So their mom was shocked at the level of, after watching the video and they had posted it, she was shocked at the level of views, engagement, what they even had to say.
And you believe that if they know the process of birth, they definitely know the process that led to that pregnancy. They know much more than what they should know.
Exactly.
Well, we've got so many comments on social media, and of course, everyone supported it. Well, sexuality education, sex education, if as you wish to call it, it is not damaging. Parents, it is not damaging. It can only help your children. It helps them. It makes them stronger, and it opens their mind to want to know. I mean, to know what and what not to do, and when not to do some certain things. It encompasses a range of topics that tailored to the age and developmental level of a child. Like I said, it has levels and stages to it. There's a topic from ages 3 to 5,
Exactly.
4 to 6. Imagine a child age 4 to 6, for example. Learns about topics such as friendships, emotions, and different parts of the bodies. That is where it starts. That is registered already. And these are topics that are also relevant for older children, adolescents. Of course, you learn every day. You can't know it. Even up to now, I learned some part of the body. I was like, in this same body, because honestly, I'm shocked. In this our body, we have some things that once you hear the name, you would even open your mouth like, ha. Especially as women. And you must be careful. That's why they pay more attention to women, because we are very fragile. We are very
we get the most brunt. We get the end of the line.
Soft. We are the receiving end.
Yeah, we are the receiving end.
So other topics such as puberty, family planning, contraception are introduced. For most young adults, sexual relationships are built on principles similar to those of the social relationship learned in early life. And of course, children are aware of and recognize these relationships long before they act on their sexuality, and therefore need the skills to understand their bodies. Parents, give room to your child. Like Favor said, and of course, that's going to be our concluding statement, because we'll get there. Of course, the importance of going beyond informal sexuality education. Favor, want to help us with that?
Sure, I'll read it.
Okay.
So it says various social and technical developments during the past decades have triggered the need for good quality sexuality education, which can enable young people to deal with their sexuality in a safe and satisfactory manner. Examples of these kinds of developments are globalization and the arrival of new population groups with different cultural and religious backgrounds, the rapid spread of new media, particularly the internet pornography, and mobile phone technology, the emergence of HIV and AIDS, increasing concerns about STIs, abortion, infertility, the sexual abuse of children and adolescents, and last but not least, changing attitudes towards sexuality and changing sexual behavior among young people. Formalized sexuality education, as opposed to peer education and extracurricular activities, is well placed to reach a majority of children and young people. I think that's major importance.
Yes.
Even when you leave your house, it gives you more reach to a particular amount of people. Like when you come to school, you don't just talk to your child alone. You talk to many other people, many other children. So there's a wider reach when you go to formal teaching of sexuality education.
And parents, relatives, friends, and of course other laypersons are important source of learning about human relationships and sexuality, especially for younger age groups. However, informal sources are often insufficient because of complexity of knowledge and skills required when discussing topics such as contraception, STIs, emotional development, and of course communications. Most parents feel uncomfortable about this, and we're saying it all the time. And of course, they are unprepared to tackle sexual education themselves, and they feel they need the support of the schools to do this. I think that's where this thing comes in. Like, then it should be taught in schools. And it should be a subject on its own with a total insight, someone that has the full knowledge of what I mean.
Yeah. They understand
The
the
human
topic.
anatomy.
Yeah.
Abi? Is that not what they call
Yes,
it?
human
Uh-huh.
anatomy.
And is ready to let it out.
But you
at
should just have
different level.
a particular class that sex education is going to start. So I believe the children should just have the knowledge from home before starting from school.
From home, what age?
Like she said, from like 3, like don't let anybody touch you here, don't let anybody touch you. Let's start from there. So when they get to school, it won't feel strange
Yeah, when they start.
when they start teaching
They
them.
start
about
to
the animal.
introduce it
Mhm.
little by little, class by class.
Exactly. That's just better.
Well, it's been an amazing time with you people in the studio. Thank you very much. I must say I'm really glad because we did judgment to this topic. And of course, on social media, I've got comments on Facebook. Majority says yes, it should be taught in schools. And what's his name? He said that it's already been taught in school. It's just that they should make it they should intensify it.
The teacher.
They should make it like they should make it a subject like
Yeah, they should make it
But
separate
basically,
from
I want to
other
ask
Yes.
a question. Like looking from the angle of a male teacher teaching biology and science in secondary school, teaching reproductive system. Do you think a male teacher would do justice to talking about the female vital organs and it's been taken seriously?
That's it. For someone that will take this kind of subject or topic, of course, if you go to the hospital and a doctor is to attend to you, are you going to shy away from it being a male?
Yeah,
Will
or
you
a
wait for a female to come attend to you? No. Irrespective of what gender the person is, if he has that knowledge and is ready to pass it,
Let him pass it.
this is what he does. This is what he
Actually-
went to school to learn. Then he should be able to pass it on, irrespective of whatever gender is. Being a male, because he might be a male and he might even be better than
Yeah.
female teachers.
Okay, what about
What's
an
it-
occasion whereby, like
and
for instance, personally, my first day, when you do this thing in your, I don't know, secondary school, primary school, but you go for medicals, where you do your blood
Medical
group and all of
exams,
that,
yes.
exactly. And my first, the doctor I met, I think I was going to GS1, yeah. The doctor I met was a male doctor. And he said he wants to check something in my chest. I should move my clothes. I was honestly, with all sincerity, I was scared. Like I never had it before.
Yeah.
It was so strange. Fine, I know you want to do your job, but then I was still little, and you're telling me you want to check my heartbeat or what? I don't know what you're looking
Well, I
for.
understand, because if you're saying
I had to tell him in all sense, I wanted to use the toilets. I had to leave.
if you're saying a male doctor, a male teacher cannot take this subject, then we have male students too.
That's what I was saying. That actually, I
So
think
how
what would
then
be
do we
better.
balance? Because we can't separate
What would be better
this
in school
class.
is actually we can gender,
so
but
you
for that,
suggest- you
that's why I said
suggest
that
it should be
as long
separated.
as it's particular subject,
Okay.
you understand, and they have their
Cannot
own
be
period,
separated.
they can be
Can be
separate.
separated,
Yes,
yes.
a male children should go
They
to
have
this
their own
particular class
class,
for
yeah.
this
Exactly.
particular subject,
another
and
one.
a
Or that
female,
particular topic.
yes, for that a female should go to this
Yeah,
side. Then they
because-
have their
yeah, because
female.
you don't have the
Because
same-
I
you don't have
remember,
the same,
I remember when I went for one checkup like that I had to do with my damn part. The first day I went to a female doctor and I was not,
We're
because I
comfortable.
really
Yeah.
need, yes.
Uh-huh.
Then the woman I said I should go, like, come back like a week after. He gave me some drug. So the week after, you should now check if that drug actually work or not.
It was now a male.
So when I get there, I saw that woman. The woman said, "Okay, that she have one organ that is, you understand, one eye doctor that will just see if they need to do any other thing or that drug." When they now call this eye doctor, not me, I refuse. So I
I said me too. That was the end of my checkup. I didn't go. I just told the man that I wanted to use
Well,
it.
I'm not surprised because
I
even
didn't
when
go
I was
back.
pregnant, there was a point where a female doctor attended to me and was like, "Oh, I need to see my Oga. He's a senior doctor." So when we got there, he said he wanted to check. I was still feeling shy that what kind of thing is this like this? But at that point, I don't have a choice. I just
I
have
understand.
to allow.
The woman
So-
was like, "She don't worry. Hey, can you call you?" I said,
I was
cannot
still, I
off
was
my
still
skirt."
feeling somehow because I felt I was naked.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine in my condition, I'm still, because right from time, you feel that place. This is our down part.
It is well.
Well, thank you very much. It's been an amazing time. I wish we never leave here. We keep talking and talking and talking. But I'm going to play to the parents, most especially mothers, to guide and guard their words very well, closely, and teach them what they ought to know. No age is too small. From ages 2, it's fine too. It doesn't have to be 3 years. Whatever age you, 1 year, 2 years, just make sure you impact that knowledge in them. Let them have the knowledge and understanding of what and what. Don't shy away from mention. See, breast is breast. Chest is different from breast.
Exactly.
Don't let the man touch your chest. It's different from. Don't let the man touch your breast. Chest is different from breast. You need to be specific. Like
say the word the way it
say
is.
it. Don't shy, because whether you like it or not, he or she's going to learn it outside, and you'll be shocked.
Yeah.
And of course, you don't have to be shocked at that moment. Yes, that's gonna be. Can I take 2 more minutes? All right, so just do the needs, and I pray God help us. Thank you very much for being a part of the show. Thank you for listening to my listener out there, and to those watching us on Facebook and YouTube on LagoonTV. Thank you very much. You're the real MVP. Thank you, Koinsola Lao. Thank you.
Thank you.
Timileng, and of course to my producer, Favor Onsachi. You guys are really amazing. Thank you to myself. I'm not going nowhere, because still Lagoon Radio, your #1 online gospel radio station, powered by the Diocese of Lagos Anglican Communion. You can like and follow us on Facebook at Lagoon Radio Nigeria, on Instagram at Lagoonradio.Ng, and of course you can tell your friends and family to listen via our website on www.lagoonradio.ng. My name is DJ Shab, and on this note, I said good afternoon once again. Do not forget and to join us next week, same time from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. on your Share Your Thoughts show. Bye for now.
This is Lagoon Radio.
Protocol breaker. There is nothing you cannot do.